Welcome to the Slamming Door Sessions, a reality creation podcast where we slam the door to anything that is not our ideal. With your amazing hosts, Kristen M.F. Clark and authentic Cintia Serravalle. Join us in a radical embodiment of our ideal states. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Slamming Door Sessions podcast. Thank you so much for being here with us. If you are watching this episode on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and turn on notifications. And yeah, so I am Cintia. I am one of the hosts. My state name is Authentic Cintia. I am here with Kristen. Her state is Kristen M.F. Clark. And yeah, and there is a third host. Her name is Jay Wow. And well, Jay has, she's embodying a state and her state is leading her to do other things. So she has decided to not be a host of the show anymore, but she will be back as a guest. So yay, we are all about, celebrating and honoring self. So we are all about honoring self here in this show. And so we're so happy and so excited to know of her future adventures in her wonderful state. So thank you so much, Jay, for being with us so far. And so, yeah, super excited for the new adventures. And so today we are going to be talking about detachment. And we haven't had any conversation about this subject before. And I just kind of was curious, I suggested this because I wanted to know, what do they think about detachment? Like, what is detachment for them? Because I have heard different things about it. And so I was just curious, we haven't talked about it. So I don't even know what Kristen thinks about the subject So yeah, would you like to say anything about it, Kristen?
I'm really interested in seeing how this subject evolves from the state of Kristen M.F. Clark, because I know what other states would interact with detachment. Because and what I love is because you're coming from a different culture as well. So in your culture, detachment could be completely different. And as far as a definition. And so for me, detachment, what's coming up in this moment is definitely stepping more into the God power of this is my reality. Okay. And I get to say what I'm interested in interacting with at all times, especially thoughts, ideas, beliefs, moods, things like that, feelings. And detachment, it's, I love, I'm kind of like right now listening to what detachment wants to say, it's, that sounds weird, but it's kind of like, I'm just listening to what wants to come forth. And it's like, we have constantly, I call them sandboxes, right? It's just places to play. You can play and you can call them 3D, whatever you can play. There's all these sandboxes. And in every moment, I'm constantly being invited to expand to a better place than I've ever been before. Much more fun, more celebration. It's like, woohoo, this is so much fun. And just recently on my YouTube channel, I did a friend of mine reached out to me with a question about getting stuck in memories and how, we've all been there where you have an altercation with somebody and it just keeps replaying. And you're like going, hey, stop. And she asked me, what do you do? And I kind of fell into the old way of that of doing things, which is to teach her. And I realized, no. I want to detach from that. I love being the person who just, I'm always like, jump to the good part. let's just jump to the good part. And the good part is celebration, going, oh my God, we never had that problem. I've heard people have that problem. I've never had that problem. I love that all my memories are great. All my memories are so much fun. And I love thinking about my memories. I love jacuzziing on in my memories. I love being so excited. And so, it's like, oh my God, let me tell you. Like, before we started this, I was showing Cynthia some fun pictures from when I went to Hawaii and some really fascinating stories. And I love that. I love that everything that comes up in me presents itself like that. And so for me, detachment would be, slamming the door on anything I don't want. But see, the thing is, there's nothing to slam the door on, right? There's just nothing to slam the door on. Slamming the door isn't even necessary because none of that comes my way. So I'm inviting detachment to give me a whole new meaning. Let's give you a whole new definition and see what comes from there. What about you?
So for me, I've heard that in the manifestation world, if you will, that you have to detach from your desire. And I always found that interesting because to me, and I think Neville says something about it, like saying like you detach from your old state, right? Not from your desire. And so what I have found is that by imagining myself living my fulfilled desire, that, oh, I want to have it, which is like the attachment to the desire. If you want, it's like the attachment to the desire is just this feeling that you don't have it, right? Like this feeling that, oh, I want it so bad because it's not here. But if you are manifesting by, being in the state of the wish fulfilled and feeling that it's actually here, then how could you be wanting what you already have, So I do not see how detachment would play in detaching from the desire, because I think that is an automatic result of being in the state of the wish fulfilled. So that is automatically going to make you feel detached from the desire because you actually feel that you already have it. So you don't want it anymore. But then detaching from the old state, oh, that it's more interesting because, we play in different states or different sandboxes, like Kristen says, all day long. And sometimes if we go back to a state that is not enjoyable, it's like, to me, detachment in that sense is just choosing something new and choosing something that I actually like. And sometimes it's just not paying attention to it anymore. Like, just I'm gonna go and watch a movie, or I'm gonna go and, I don't know, read a book. And that is detachment, because it's like the old state was like, hi, I'm here. And I'm like, no, thank you. And I think you can call that slamming the door, like slamming the door on the old state. But yeah, I feel that it can always be very effortless, like very natural, very simple. And I think that this vision of detachment, because sometimes when I've heard people talking about it, it's like, I don't know, with a lot of effort, like you have to work hard to detach from your desire. It's like, you don't. It's just like, I don't know. It's like sometimes we treat certain things like if they are monsters, that they're gonna come and get you, like your desire is gonna come and get you if you don't detach, or even sometimes the old story, sometimes the old story, it's like this monster that's gonna come and get you and it's going to make you fall in the old state. And it's like, no, like That's the old story. Maybe I'm telling you the old story, but I get to choose to still remain in the new state, the state that I want. So I am all about effortlessness and not being afraid, not treating these ideas as monsters that are gonna come and get you, you know? You get to choose. You always get to choose. The old state is not gonna come and get you. The attachment and of desire is not gonna come and get you. You know, it's like, no, thank you. You know, but it's just ease and effortless and simplicity, at least for me. So, you know, just yeah, I detach from the desire only because I choose to feel that I already have it. And I detach from the old state because I don't pay attention to it anymore. Even if it comes to knock on my door, it's like, hi, I'm here. That's no, thank you, no, thank you. So yeah, to me, detachment is, I think, very simple and very easy and very effortless. And
You know, I love the analogy of people when I think Esther Hicks talks about changing the radio station. It's as easy as that, you know. And I mean, if you're sitting there watching TV and something comes up that you don't want to watch, you don't sit there and go, oh, it's going to get me. You know, you're just like, man, change the channel. No, don't want to watch that. I mean, it's as simple as that. And it's as detached as that. You know, it's like you said, if you've already got it all, if you've got everything you ever wanted to be, which you do, would you care? Would you care at all that an old state arises or whatever? Or would you just go, not even actually, we probably just don't even notice it. And how much throughout our whole day arises and we just don't even notice it. We don't even have any memory of ever, you know, because you could sit here and say, oh, nothing ever happens, when probably it does, but you're so detached. You just don't even see it. You don't even acknowledge it. It's like I said, you know, with the TV, I don't really watch TV, so I don't even know how it works anymore. But when I used to, you had a remote control and you just go through the stations. And if somebody asked you half an hour later, oh, what stations did you scan through? You couldn't remember them. You wouldn't even know. You'd be like, oh, I don't know. You'd only remember the one you went to, the one you watched, the one you involved in. You wouldn't remember all those other ones you went through. You might be going, I don't know. I think there was a commercial for detergent or something. I don't know, you know, and that's, but I love, you know, how you're, and both of us said this, is detachment even necessary? Because if I'm already joyful, if I'm already happy, if I'm already in the space of pure celebration because I have everything I want, is detachment even necessary? Because there is no big scary monster. You can play there. You definitely could play there. And it's you still can't be any less of a God. Yeah, you can never be less of a God. You're always God, no matter what you play and what sandbox you play in.
and yeah, that is something really nice, because even if an old, not an old state, but just an undesirable state, you just become aware, oh, I'm in this state, it's just not a big deal. You know, it's just not a big deal. And I really, I don't know, sometimes if I find myself, you know, in this state, and I am actually curious, you know, oh, look at this state, you know, it's just interesting. And it's like, okay, I am this God and I am in this state, and look at how interesting how this works, you know. It's just not a big deal, you know. It's like, oh, I've ruined my life because I've fallen into this state. No, you know,
Because I
it's like,
vibrated negatively.
yeah, no. And I don't know, it's just like, it's just interesting, you know, and it can feel unpleasant, and it can, you know, yeah, of course, because that's not what I would choose, but it's just interesting to observe it as something. And I guess this is also a kind of detachment, you know. It's like, yes, this is an unpleasant state that is arising, however, doesn't mean anything. Like, it's not big deal. It is a state. Okay, sure. It is unpleasant. Okay, sure. but it's not going to come and get me. It's always going back to this. I am not afraid of being in this state. There's nothing to be afraid of. Even if you are in an awful state, even if it doesn't feel great, it's like, sure. And so what?
Don't you think that all comes from the separation thing? It's like when I was channeling, way back when, I had a friend who was just like, you got to be careful what you're channeling, because there are nefarious entities out there that will try to come through you. And I'm sitting there going, I'm like, I don't think so. Oh yes, there's and again, this comes into the whole alien thing. Oh, there's the reptilians, and the reptilians are da. Because when I was channeling what's called the dragon consciousness, Iram, and that just arose. That was the craziest story in the world. I was just in a meditative state, and I went through this whole process, and I'm like going, whoa. And I was trying to learn how to channel with a friend of mine who is an amazing channeler. And she kept asking me, what do you want to channel? Do you want to channel angels? What do you want to channel? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess angels would be fun. So we would practice with that. We'd play around with that. And it really was a separation of, I'm channeling somebody who's out there, and they're coming through me. These are not my words. These are their words. And so, and that was a tough place for me to be like, there's somebody outside of me I'm channeling. Wait a minute. And so when the whole dragon consciousness thing arose and everything, I was like going, whoa, where'd that come from? There's dragon consciousness. But anyway, and basically what it was is it was a permission slip for me to bring forth my brilliance, and that's all channeling is. That's all channeling is. When Esther is channeling Abraham, sorry for all you Abraham people out there, this is the truth. When Esther's channeling Abraham, she's just channeling her brilliance. She's just giving herself permission to access her brilliance. And it's piggybacking in on a thing called channeling Abraham. But if you've ever noticed, is the coolest thing, and I love this, that if you look at videos from 30 years ago, when Esther first started channeling Abraham, she was sitting, her eyes were closed. She did this, she would like spell things out with her nose. And it slowly evolved to where she now gave herself permission to open her eyes and channel. And then it was standing, and then it was walking around the stage. And now she is pretty much herself. She still goes through the motions of closing her eyes and bringing in Abraham, but now she's typing, and they're looking up the questions on the thing. And it's really beautiful to watch, but because the separation of here's Esther, here's Abraham is slowly closing. There's no more separation, right? And I think when we really step into understanding that everything is us, the bad, the good, the warty, all of it, it is your creation. You created that. Why? Who the fuck cares? You did, because you can, because you're that amazing, because you can. It's like, why would I create negative emotions? Because you can. And does it need to be anything more than that? No, you can play there, but it really doesn't. It's just like, we are so brilliant. We are just so unbelievably powerful. And when we close that separation, when we detach from separation, the world that blows up in front of you, you are, you've heard the word unlimited. We've heard the world, all these words, amazing, extraordinary, all of it, marvelous, but it's so far beyond that. Sorry, I think I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, I don't even remember what I was saying. Doesn't matter.
I think it was the separation thing.
Yeah, I'm about to talk about that. I just love what you said, because just oneness is just the most beautiful thing. And not only the most beautiful thing, because of how it feels. But the most empowering thing that you could ever do is become aware of oneness. Because when you do, it's just, you start to realize that you are so much more powerful than you thought you were. Because if you still see separation, and also not only the separation, but especially when you give power to something that you believe that it's outside of you, that is, the most empowering thing that you can do, because then you believe that somehow something outside of you is deciding your fate and deciding if you're going to get what you want or not. And I was actually having this conversation with a friend the other day about, asking help to angels and to cherubs and to all these creatures, because she wanted something. And and it's just this empowering thing to do, to believe that, I mean, you want to believe they exist outside of you, go ahead. But if you want on top of that to believe that they have a power that you don't, and that because of that you need to ask them for help, like, you're giving all your power away. And if you just choose to actually know, to actually just turn around and look at yourself and say, like, I am the power and I am the answer to whatever prayer I have, then you don't need the help of anything outside of you. And you can just be free. Like, oneness and buying the pearl, especially, is the most empowering thing. And it brings so much peace, because first of all, like, there's no one to hate on because everyone is you. There's no one to blame because everyone is you. There's no one to fight with because everyone is you.
No one to blame. There you go.
Yes. Yeah. And so, it's like, you can just save that energy and do something else, and then start coming from love and start to see people as you in a different body. And I do that a lot, and I say that a lot, whenever I have a conversation with someone, you're just me in a different body. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun to actually see that in that way. But at the same time, it's so freeing, because then you just feel that you don't depend on anyone or on anything, that in the end, nothing is outside of you, and that you get to choose. You always get to choose who you want to be, what you want to experience. But I love freedom. And however I can experience that feeling, I want that. And I have that, and I experience that, because freedom is, I just feel that freedom is really,
it's everything,
all we want.
Yes.
I think every desire and every kind
desire, every want for me, every want for a lover or whatever, it all bases down to the foundation of freedom.
Yeah. And I think it's freedom to be us, like the freedom to be authentically us, just the freedom that, I want to have financial freedom. Yeah, but why? Because I want to go here and I want to buy this and I want to buy this. But why? Because that is who I am, that is the expression of myself. And I think that every desire is simply the desire to freely express ourselves. So freedom, and especially the freedom of knowing that I am the cause, that I am the power, and that I am just one with everyone and with everything and with God, that's just ultimate freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think if somebody's watching this and they're thinking, okay, well, how do I do oneness? You just did. Because, for me, everybody, whoever's watching this, you created us. You created me and Cynthia to bring this message, to just bring this aha to you, or just this entertainment, this fun. And in this moment right now, you just expanded out to a whole new level of freedom for yourself. Because I think basically that is who, we love freedom. We're beings of freedom. We love to play. And if you play with angels and all of that, you just created that. You just generated that to give yourself a little more freedom. It's always, when I was learning how to channel and playing with dragon consciousness and stuff, that was just another level of freedom for myself. But you don't stop. That's why if you ever find a mentor, or you ever find, somebody who's like Neville Goddard, it's like, oh, for a whole year, I've just been entrenched in Neville Goddard, and it's so much fun. But you don't stop. You don't stop seeking freedom. And Neville Goddard was just a permission slip to know more freedom of myself. And something, we always expand, more freedom, more freedom, more freedom, more freedom. We never, ever stop. We can't ever stop. And we will bring to ourselves, because we're so amazing, we'll bring to ourselves examples of people who have stopped. Whether it's a mentor or whatever, they've achieved, Gandhi, whatever, they've achieved this special level. And it's like, no, you generated that. You created that person. You created everything you've ever, like you said, it's you. You see it as, that's just me in another body. But it's beyond that. It's, like for me, every feeling is me in another body. Every mood is me in another bear. Every thought, every belief, everything. It's just another version of me that I played with, another sandbox I was in playing. And I just, we always grow, we always grow, we always grow. And we've given ourselves the most wonderful examples of that, because I was born and I grew and I grew and I went to school and I made friends and I got bigger and I got older and I da da da. So we give ourselves these examples of constantly growing. And then you get to a point where you realize all of that was an illusion. It's just memories, and memories are just thoughts. And, there's nothing outside of this space right here, this space, this now right here. All of that is encompassed right here. And that's a whole nother podcast. But, I love for me, the detachment is really, really stepping more and more into detaching that there's anything for outside of me, and just really realizing that this is my painting. And at any time I can take my magic eraser and go, oh, let's start again. Let's play here. Let's play there. And I love it. I love being in the space where I can go, yeah, no, I'm not playing with that anymore. And then just watching how my reality evolves, like me getting up this morning and there's this big deer. Yesterday, I'm giving myself the memory of talking to the neighbor and her saying, oh yeah, we've been seeing deer lately. And I'm like, oh, I want to see a deer. And then I wake up this morning and now there's a big old buck out there. And, me going, oh, I manifested that. Well, let's move beyond the word manifestation. What's beyond manifestation, right? What's beyond that? It's just like, manifestation is that creation of separation. I have it, I don't have it. And it's like, let's go beyond that. Let's go beyond the need to manifest anything and know that it's all here. It's all right here. You have it all. And it's interesting, and letting that evolve on its own, not feeling like we got to do it. I got to get my hands in the clay and fold and make things happen. Just going, I wonder what's beyond manifestation. And then letting that, letting the universe rush in and show you. And I adore that.
And I think that also, for me, detachment has also a lot to do with playfulness and just not taking things so seriously, It's just like, sure, just relax. Just relax and go get yourself a cup of tea, It's just relax. It's not so serious. And
what does relax mean to you too? Like I had a lady who was like going, when she's just like, I can't relax. And I'm just like, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, I love to eat, and I love to hike, and I love to da, 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 da. And I said, well, how is that not relaxation for you? I said, relaxation doesn't mean that you're, sitting as a lump on a log and just watching TV. That's relaxation for somebody else. But what's relaxation for you?
When I say relax, I mean, don't take your fears so seriously, And so it's not related to what you're doing physically, but just to not fixate on whatever fear or worry. It's just like, yeah, maybe they're there, maybe they're not, but I can just do something nicer with my time, basically.
Yeah. And what if you do fixate in on your fears?
It's still not a big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
That's, it's always not a big deal.
Yeah.
You're super fixated in those fears. It's like, yeah, sure, not a big deal. You won't.
Okay.
In 5 minutes, maybe you won't. Maybe tomorrow you won't. Doesn't matter, because it's not fixed and it's not something that you're stuck in. It's no, we are always changing and moving and just trying different things and trying on different states. So it's never a big deal.
Yeah.
Never.
I think it's ultimately about detaching from time, and I'm running out of time. I got to hurry up and that's my dream. I got to hurry up and become this perfect state. I have to become this perfect state. Oh, it's like, can we let go of states? Can we please let the fuck go of states and just know that you are who you are right here, right now is just so glorious. And even with the illusion that it's not glorious, that's just showing you just how much gloriousness you are, because you can do that. You can even fool the God you are. You're that badass.
And you just said something. I think that relaxing also is enjoying the present moment, because that is all we have. So I guess when we are attached to something, we're always like feeling like chasing something best that it's somehow not here right now. And I think that just relaxing is just like, okay, let me focus on this moment and how can I make the most out of it? Maybe
you already do. Maybe you, I mean, honestly, how can you not focus on this moment right here, right now? How can you not? Because everything that's in this moment right now, memories, future, this or that, is happening in this moment right now. So you already do it naturally without even trying. Ooh, look how bad we are.
So in the end, I think it's just a matter of choosing to enjoy, Yeah. Choosing to enjoy now.
Yeah. It's all such, like for me, it's all such a big paradox. It really is. It's like you can go down these conversations of saying, talking about the now. I mean, heck, you can read Eckhart Tolle's book and get so lost in the now and how you can get out of the now. But it's like, yeah, but that's happening right now. You're getting lost out of the now. So you can't. So it really does come back around over and over and over to what we're giving the definition to being, unfree. That's a freedom right there in itself. To feel unfree is a freedom. It's like, so how can we ever, it really is, it's so, we're just, wow, right? It's just so wow. And we really can go down these deep, dark black holes. But I love that I get to, in every moment, see beyond the illusion, and just celebrate what I'm creating in this moment right here, right now. Just really celebrate even the stuff that a moment before I might have said, maybe I don't want to celebrate that. And then in the very next moment, I get to go, oh, I could celebrate that because I can. And I'm a God, and I can't ever be less of a God. I can even get to play that I can be less of a God because I'm a God. And it really, it's every moment for me is these big rabbit holes, it's going down these rabbit holes and asking to constantly go bigger. It's like whenever I hear kind of a repeat of something I've heard before, going, it's just this natural thing of let's go bigger, let's go bigger, let's go bigger than that. And I love that. I love when I get people like you, especially who can step up and go, ooh, yeah, this is fun. Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. We just don't stop. And we get to dissect and we get to figure things out. And then in the very next instant, we get to go, why was I thinking I needed to figure anything out? There's nothing to figure out.
Yeah, I love what you said a little earlier, to go beyond manifestation, because it's creating this separation between having and not having, right? And we have everything right now. I love it. And when you said going beyond manifestation, I just had this like flash in my head, as if I had already thought about it this week. I'm not even sure, but since we are one, of course we're thinking about it.
Yeah, you generated me.
Yeah, and it's like I have these conversations with one of my friends where I'm speaking and I have like these ideas to say things, and she tells me like, oh my God, this is becoming like kind of freaky, because you're just saying whatever I'm thinking like over and over and over. And I was like, of course, we're one. It's so much fun.
And I mean, I know when I said, go beyond manifestation, there was a part of me that went, oh, there's a big black hole. Let's go down that one. And oh, sorry. I'm getting some beautiful bluebirds out there. Distraction. Distraction. And here we are again with the whole we are one. It brings up an old memory of where I was like going, what do they mean by that? What do you mean we are one? You are one, we are one, or whatever. And there are so many teachers that make such a big deal about this. They make such a big deal about oh, you've got to understand. You've got to understand. And I'm like going, well, the fact that you're saying that, obviously I already understand. Obviously, because I created you saying that. But I also created you looking at me going, you got to understand, you got to understand. And that's the detachment, backing off and going, no, I don't. I created you saying that. I created you pushing me like that. And no, I'm not interested in that anymore. Slam the door, and that's it. It always comes back to what you were saying about simplicity. Just that simplicity. Keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it simple. It's so easy to go down those rabbit holes of just really analyzing and analysis paralysis and all of that. And that's fun sometimes. But man, when I come back to the simplicity, just the simplicity, it's like, oh, okay, I'm happy here.
Yeah. Oh my God. You just described my favorite feeling. That's
Yes.
it.
Isn't that the ultimate freedom right there? Is the simplicity.
Yeah.
It's just that feeling of, okay, now I don't have to think about that anymore.
Yeah.
Because that can get heavy. Talk about heavy thoughts, and they're very real. They really are heavy. You can feel the weight pushing down on you of, I've got to figure this out. And then you just go back to, no, I don't. What's going to happen if I don't figure that out? Am I going to stop existing? No. And I love the subject of, have you ever not existed? When people get too heavy and too, I need to know now. It's like, when people are trying to understand time,
Mm.
how could you say there's no time? Well, have you ever not existed? Do you have any memory of ever not existing? No, you don't. Even the thought of not existing, it's still you looking at that thought of not existing. You can't possibly not exist. And that's because there's your God self right there. It's that simple. It's that simple. There's your God self. When people are like, I got to find my God self. Well, you ever looked in a mirror? There you are. It's right there. Oh, well, wait, do I need to look in my eyes and find the soul? Oh, there you go down another rabbit hole. See, let me know when you want to go a little more simpler. It's right here, right here. It's so simple. It's like, just find yourself. There's your existence. There you are. You've always existed. You've never, no matter how much you get lost in this rabbit hole and that rabbit hole, who do you always come back to? When those rabbit holes are over with and done, who do you always come back to? Who do you always come back to? And I always say, your name.
And it's so funny because all those rabbit holes are in the mind, and the mind is just a tool, but we are beyond the mind. So yeah, it's like whenever you want to stop playing in the mind, then you can do something else. You can just relax.
Well, you just said, your favorite space. Oh, there's my favorite space. That's you. That's the you always come back to. It's just that space of, oh, there I am. It's simple. It's easy. And I just love this space of no more things to think about. Yeah. That's you. Mm-hmm. That's the you always come back to. You always. It's never not there. Yeah. That's the space that when I get people who are like, any of my mentors are like going, well, what did you do to create that? You got to figure out what you did to create that. It's like, no, I don't. There is nothing I did to create that. You can even say, oh, I was just being myself. That's still doing something. No, there's nothing I did to create that. There's no cause and effect. It's another sandbox. It's another state I can play in. But ultimately, there's nothing to do to manifest. Did you do anything to manifest the sun this morning? No. Did you do anything to manifest the air you're breathing? No. There's nothing to do. It's so simple. It's so simple. Talk about ultimate detachment.
And freedom and simplicity.
Freedom. Oh my gosh. Freedom. Yes, please. Yeah. And isn't it amazing to think that I'm not free, but that's an ultimate freedom right there, is to even think you're not free. All those paradoxes, so fun. But, because you can always counteract any thought you have. You can always do that. And isn't that the ultimate freedom? To always go, little kid, you can't tell me what to be. You can't tell me who I am.
Okay. Anything else you want to share?
Oh, this was fun.
Yeah, it was really good. Yes.
Yeah. And as Cynthia said in the beginning, so JWoww is not going to be with us as far as a host anymore of the Slamming Door sessions, but we'll be pulling our ass in for guest speaking sometimes. And yeah, this is just, we would love if any of you are ever interested. You hear us say this all the time. If you're ever interested in being a guest, coming in and chatting with us, or just sending us, we have a link. Isn't the link we still have access to that link?
Yes. We have the link, and you can click there to see more info about us, or you can submit a question that we can answer during a podcast, or you can share your success stories so that we can share them here. And of course, you can request to be a guest here to share from your ideal so that we can celebrate with you. And yeah, so
that's ultimately exciting. That's what we're all about, is just celebration of anything you have to say. We are never here to put you in the hot seat and say, oh, you're broken, let us fix you. That is not who we are. And we love We love just, celebrating your fantastic, amazing states. And we love success stories.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yes, please. Lots of success stories.
Yeah. So
You have a success story you want to share before we go?
Success story. Let me see. Well, the Lady of Leisure has been giving me a lot of free time the last couple of weeks. So yeah, that's been fun without me having to do anything, because that's so much fun because you don't need to even imagine anything or say anything. It's like, oh, I'm the Lady of Leisure. And then all these things that you don't even know you wanted show up. Yeah.
I love that. Well, and I love that you've been talking about the Lady of Leisure lately, and that's what's jumped up into my reality without me even saying I wanted to be Lady of Leisure. I mean, I'm literally in it right now. I've been, I'm in the most beautiful little cabin that's being gifted to me. I'm not paying or anything. And with the most gorgeous, and all I have to do today is just sit and watch the birds and the deer and the view. And I'm just like going, yeah, it's just flew by. I mean, I could just watch TV all day. I do whatever I want. I can eat ice cream all day. I do whatever I want. And I didn't even ask for this. And it's just because Cynthia's been talking about Lady of Leisure. And
yeah, the Lady of Leisure is here. So everyone relaxes.
Yeah. I love it. God has spoken.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Okay. Well, thank you to all of you. And I'm just going to stop the recording. Cynthia and I joke around because a lot of times when I stop the recording, I end up deleting all of us. So I'm going to do much better today. So thank you all for being here in this fun podcast. And like I said, if you find that you would love to join in on the conversations or whatever, we are here with arms wide open.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Bye.